Welcome to the Minuteman Theory podcast. I'm Brad.
I'm Ian.
And this is episode 8. You might have to bear with some cars driving by in the background.
We're at the podcast zone, as Kevin would say.
The podcast zone.
Unfortunately, he couldn't be with us this evening, but he'll catch us on the next one.
Yeah. Oh, and Nick hasn't been able to join us for the last few. He is awaiting, well, I don't know how much he wants us to say publicly, but he is awaiting something really exciting and has been too busy to be on.
Understandable. Life has a tendency to get in the way.
Yeah. But yeah, today we are going to be discussing personal Opsec or operational security and how that ties into everyday life, what you should consider with your own personal Opsec, different levels of Opsec, because it's different for everybody, kind of like the EDC thing we talked about. And then, if we have a little bit of time, I'm going to show Ian how to get on the dark web.
I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
so Ian, what?
So there's two, right? It's not just OPSEC, it's COMSEC. So for those that don't know, there's operational security, and then there's communication security, right? So operation security would be like, hey, listen, you're going on vacation, but you don't want people to know that you're going on vacation. You're going to be leaving your house behind, or leaving your house unattended. So basically, that's what OPSEC is. OPSEC is attempting to make things not appear out of the ordinary, going out of your way to make sure that everything looks as it should. So for example, OPSEC, you're on vacation. One of the easiest things you can do is have a neighbor come pick up your mail so that there's not mail piling up on the door. Put your lights on an automatic timer so that it, whenever it gets dark, the lights go on, and then, have them. So there's just different things that you can do, and then there's COMSEC. Now, COMSEC is kind of interesting because it rolls in the two, right? So COMSEC is not broadcasting social media over the phone, over anything like that, information that you wouldn't want a third party to have, right? So using an encrypted app, a Signal, for instance, that way it's only between you, the message that's being sent is only between you and the person that you're sending it to. Now, they say that Facebook Messenger is encrypted end-to-end, but I don't believe that. I have a hard time with that.
Well, so I believe that Facebook Messenger is encrypted end-to-end. Facebook also owns WhatsApp, which is encrypted end-to-end. But the difference between Signal and Facebook Messenger, Signal is open source, which means you can go and look at all of the source code yourself, and many experienced people have verified that it is clean and that there's no funky stuff going on. Facebook Messenger, on the other hand, and WhatsApp are closed source, so you can't look at the source code. And so maybe Facebook Messenger is indeed end-to-end encrypted, but it's also very possible that all of your messages and stuff are stored on Facebook servers, and that they have your decryption keys, so they could look at your messages whenever they want. Or if the government or law enforcement subpoenas them, then they will hand over your messages. Whereas with Signal, there have been actual
FBI.
Yeah. Where they go to Signal, they say, we need the messages of this person, and Signal says, we literally do not have them.
Yes.
So we literally have nothing to give you.
Yes.
And the FBI has been pushing them of, oh, well, you're being obstructing, and they say, no, we literally do not have what you're looking for.
Yes.
Because of how the software is designed.
Yes. And so that's COMSEC. Now, I'm going to give you an example. So in the military, COMSEC is a super big deal, right? And in law enforcement too, COMSEC are two super big deals. So in law enforcement, it's if we're getting ready to raid a drug house, let's say, the last thing that you want is open information out there that hey, this is what's going to happen. So a couple of years ago, the local police department's sheriff's office went to a secured connection, which means that there is an encryption key. It can only be heard by us or by somebody else with that encryption key. Now I'm for and against that. Now I'm 100% for people having open information and law enforcement being able to. But the issue that I have is that if I'm, like I said, I just said I'm getting ready to raid a drug house. The last thing that I need is for those people to know what's about to happen and set up barriers, get armed, all these sorts of different things. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah, well, and I think the solution with that is what most police departments have implemented, where your radios are encrypted, and so you can't listen to it with a scanner, but they still do broadcast a scanner signal. It's just delayed by 10 minutes or something.
Yes, and that is fine. That we currently don't do that, but that would be something worth.
I know that's what they did in Walla Walla,
Okay.
where you could still listen on a scanner, but I think, or it might have been like 20 or 30 minutes behind.
Right.
So that they didn't have like all the people in the drug house listening to the scanner,
Yes.
waiting for them with a shotgun.
Because that would it's crazy because you would know drug houses because you would be outside and you would be doing a traffic stop and you would hear it inside the house. It's like, oh, okay, well that's a little weird, but okay.
Yeah. But even so, even in like the civilian sector, some of that stuff applies, like in the example that you gave earlier of you're leaving town on vacation, and so you have somebody come pick up your mail and stuff. That goes into communications too. Like, one of the biggest things that I see people do that just makes me cringe is they will go on vacation and they will actively post
Yes.
while on vacation, and like, oh, look at me, this is so great. And it's like, okay, if somebody is watching your Facebook account,
Yes.
and they see, and you live in Montana, and they see that you are vacationing in Mexico, they know that they probably have like a week to go raid your house before you get home.
100%, and that's why,
Yeah.
that would be, actually, both would be in the same thing, because
Yeah.
Facebook's communication, but it's also
There's also
comms, Opsec.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's like one of those things. If you must post your life on the internet for everybody to see, wait until you get home.
yes,
And
Yes.
make posts like, oh, last week I was in Mexico, look at all these great things.
Yes.
Instead of, I am currently in Mexico and the code to my door is...
yeah, right, and that's my deal too. Is that I, when I go out on camping adventures or we're doing something as far as Minuteman thing.
Yeah.
It's never posted the same day. Never, not once, because I don't need anybody knowing, where we're at or what we're doing until it's like, okay, we have this thing refined. Now we can,
Yeah. I think the only exception is when we do those classes.
Yes.
But
and
then we're
yeah.
doing events, we're having people show up.
Yes, and that is different. But even then, I'm not posting it on Facebook. I'm using the Messenger app, but I'm not posting on, hey, at 3 p.m. we'll be at, X, Y, and Z.
Right. Yeah, you make a post of, hey, we're going to do this class. Who's interested?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I get a hold of them individually and say, okay, this is when I'm going to do the class. This is the time. Then only the people that are involved in it know exactly what's going on and where.
Yeah, definitely. Because nobody needs to know where you are all the time.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody.
Except maybe your spouse. But even then, I mean, your spouse probably has a right to know.
Yes. No, and
Yeah.
my spouse also knows that if she doesn't hear from me for 3 or 4 days, if I'm out in the woods, there's no need for alarm. If I miss my check-in time, then there's need for an alarm. But other than that,
Right. Or my wife, I will tell her, I'm going this way. I'll be back. Expect me back by this time.
right.
Yeah.
And and so that's kind of the baseline as far as where you would want to go with that. Why, hello.
Hi.
As far as keeping your house secure and your things secure, and here's another thing as far as Opsec and I'm going to keep using Facebook because this is a really good platform, because a lot of people either A, use it the right way, or B, use it the absolutely wrong way.
I see most people use it the wrong way.
Yes.
Although I am probably a lot more strict about that sort of thing than a lot of people.
In fact, you're more strict about that than I am. We had this conversation last night.
Yeah.
About some,
Yeah.
yeah. you know, so posting things that you own on Facebook, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, look at this brand new cool thing I just got, and you post it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you're not going to see me posting, you know what I mean?
Or oh man, or you know, those cute. We just bought our first house, and right in the foreground is a picture of their house key. For those of you that don't know, we did a video not too long ago where I showed Ian how you can make a copy of a key with just a picture of the key.
That was wild.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Oh, it's easy.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but it's things like that. Unfortunately, there are certain common sense things, like don't post when you're on vacation, post after you get home.
Right.
Those things are kind of common sense. When you say it, you go, oh. But things like don't post a picture of your house keys, a lot of people be like, what do you mean?
Right.
Because they don't know that that is a thing that's out there, and so that requires the dissemination of that knowledge.
Right. And that's, you know, and the same thing is, you know, when I take photos, I do my best to keep my address out of stuff. You know, I'm sure people, the astute amongst you know where we're at. In fact, a lot of our followers are our friends, so I mean, it's,
Yeah.
you know, but that being said, I still don't want people randomly just showing up at my house.
Yeah, well, and I mean, you can easily deduce where we're located by our videos, but I've been pretty good about not showing our addresses,
Right.
or having any sort of identifying information of
Right.
where exactly we live.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sure somebody. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't see the risks involved with that sort of thing either. I have
Right.
another YouTube channel. I have a friend that I made through that YouTube channel who did a video where he unboxed a car part, and right there in the video was the shipping label on the box of the car part,
Right.
with his address on it.
Right.
And I texted him. I was like, "Dude, your address is in your latest video," and he was like, "Yeah, and I was like, "Dude, like, aren't you afraid people are gonna start, you know, coming to your house or sending you weird things in the mail?" And he's like, "Nah, I don't really care."
Okay.
To me, that's, well, okay. And then I guess that kind of brings us into another discussion. Is everybody's level of security is different, and different in different situations too.
Yes.
And so, like, for me personally, the only social media accounts I have are to promote my business, or like this. I don't
Right.
have any personal social media anymore that I post personal things on.
Right. And so that's the issue with Facebook now, is that in order to have a business account, you have to have a personal account.
Yep.
And so that's why
Yep.
I don't post very much on my personal one. I mean, every now and again I'll post a photo or something, but I'm not like, I don't care. There can be months where I don't post anything.
Yeah.
It's just not.
But I even go to certain extremes. Well, I've had the same phone number for the past couple years now, but I used to change my phone number once a year.
Right.
And actually, I probably need to do it, because
Then you're going to have to get all your business cards redone.
oh no, my business number will stay the same.
Oh, okay.
So I have, let's see, I have 3 different phone numbers.
Oh, okay.
But I'm talking about my personal phone number. And what I've done is I've sent things to friends' addresses, like in the mail, or like for the business.
Right.
I have a box at a place downtown.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
my business mail doesn't
Yes.
go to my house.
Right.
And so, like, those people search websites,
Yes.
you look them up, you can find me on there, but my age is wrong, my phone number is wrong, and my address is wrong.
Right.
The only part that's right is my name.
Okay.
And I've done that on purpose. Whenever I sign up for a new service, I put in the wrong birth date.
Oh, right.
And there's a couple that I use so that I can remember if
Right.
it asks for it again.
Right.
But a lot of those people search websites have my age wrong because they have the wrong data.
Right.
But again, that's personally for me, that is the level of security and privacy that I want. There are people who are more extreme than me, but for most people, I'm probably too extreme what I do.
Right. Right.
But I think there is a level of security that everybody should be at where they're
Yes.
not posting
Yes.
sensitive stuff on the internet. They are getting somebody to check their mail.
One of my favorite stories about this is one of a coworker a long time ago had a husband who posted a picture of a less than legal length firearm, and I looked at it and I was like, hey, so you should probably pull that photo off Facebook. Oh, no, it's fine. I was like, okay, well, it's fine until it isn't, so just keep that in mind. I don't know whatever came of it, but, that's the sort of stuff that I'm talking about,
Or like, okay, so I used to live in... there's things where it's not illegal yet, but so...
Yes.
Like, in Washington, I used to live in Washington State, and it was completely legal to manufacture your own firearms. So that means you could mill out an 80% receiver,
right.
and that was legal, or you could, like, 3D print a gun,
Right.
and that was legal. And so there were people who lived in Washington who they'd 3D print a firearm or mill out a firearm or
Right.
whatever, and then they'd post a picture on social media like, oh, look at this cool thing that I built. And you go, oh, yeah, that's cool. That is cool. And yes, technically it's legal right now, but a few years ago they made it illegal in Washington to
Yes.
manufacture your own firearms.
Yes.
And so then all of a sudden, if there's a record on the internet of you doing that, I'm not saying for sure you're on a list, but you're probably on a list of
Right.
where they're going to check first for
Right.
people who might
Right.
be manufacturing firearms.
Right. And here's the other thing, and if you're going to do something illegal, don't film it. Do not film it. And that's why I'm going to say that I'm glad I grew up in the time that I did.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, all of the 16, 17, 18-year-olds are getting busted because they're filming what they're doing while they're doing it. And that is making cops' lives very easy.
Yes. Okay. I disagree a little bit.
Okay?
So I think it's okay to film it, just don't post it publicly on the internet.
See, I disagree, because if you're going to film it, and I know that there was a cell phone being used at the time of said crime, I can get a search warrant and I can search that phone and find it.
Yeah, except unless you set up your phone like I do.
Fair enough.
But okay. So let me rephrase that. You can film it if you know what you're doing, but you have to understand that there are risks involved with filming said thing.
Yes. Like, I don't know. I'm just gonna. My opinion is that you just, if you're gonna do something stupid, don't advertise you're gonna do something stupid.
Oh yeah. I mean, don't advertise it, sure. But like, if you want, a record of, I don't know, you're building something illegal. Like, let's say that you live in a European country where it's illegal to have a firearm in most cases.
Right.
And you 3D print an FGC9 and you're testing, you are tweaking the print to make
Yes,
it better,
right.
and so you're testing it. I think filming it for documentation purposes, just so that you know how to improve it, is not a bad thing, but you have to be very careful with those recordings.
Yes.
Because they can lead to
Yes.
becoming evidence.
Yes.
But then that leads us into something that I think a lot of people don't do, that's really easy to do, that people should learn how to do, is encrypt all of your devices. And using encrypted messaging apps is a good, easy first step,
Yes.
like Signal.
Yes.
But then iPhones and Android phones both have features where you can encrypt the entire phone. And so even to the point of, you have a warrant for my phone, I can say, yep, okay, here it is, but you're not going to be able to get anything off of it.
Right.
And then you could probably take me to court, and there'd be some sort of legal thing where it's like, well, you need to unlock your phone for law enforcement, and if you don't, you're going to jail. That might be a thing. But the jail time for that might be less than the jail time for what's on your phone.
Right,
so,
right.
That, but then also just encrypting your devices. Oh, and it goes for your computers too. Your MacBooks, your PCs. They all have. There's free software out there. A lot of operating systems have it built in for free to encrypt your entire drive.
Right.
You have to make sure that you save your encryption keys somewhere safe, because you can lock yourself out of your
yes,
stuff.
Right.
But,
right.
It's if your laptop, for example, gets stolen.
Yes.
And you have your credit card info and stuff on your computer. You don't want that crook to you want that crook to only have your computer, not anything that's on it.
Yes. Right.
So it goes for not just people who are afraid of getting busted by law enforcement, because you shouldn't be.
You should be doing
anything wrong.
I was using it as a hypothetical.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, do the right thing. But yeah.
Yeah. Encrypting your devices is not just for hackers and criminals. It should be for everyday people as well.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So what? Tell me about. We've already discussed this a little bit, but tell me about how clothing can play into your Opsec.
So, this is something that I've been living for 10 years. So when I got
You've only been living.
I've been living this lifestyle for 10 years. When I first got out of the Army, it was like, camouflage backpack, military T-shirt, this, that, the other thing, and it's like people would take one look at me and be like, "Oh, you're ex-military." It's like, yeah. This was also when I got tattoos. Tattoos can also be one that really gives a lot of information about somebody super quick. Just immediately look and go, "Oh, okay." Whether I be civilian or as a cop, I can look and immediately like, "Oh, okay, this person has this tattoo, that tattoo, this." I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they think this, they think that. Whatever that. So basically, the way that I dress, and winter is better because I can put, more. I have this hoodie that looks like, it's a gray hoodie, and it's got a big hood on it, and it's really baggy and poofy, so it makes me look bigger than I am. But again, that's where I conceal carry all of my, and I wear sweatpants and a pair of shoes, and a ball cap, and it's gotten to the point where if I have my hood up and my hat on, I know how to walk a certain way and how to act a certain way, so that people will look at you and say, that's not somebody that I want to talk to. Mm-hmm. In fact, it's gotten to the point where I've had somebody who I've worked with in law enforcement follow me around the store because they believed that I was stealing things from the store. That's kind of where we're going with this, and that's just because, again, whether it be good or it be bad, I don't want somebody walking up to me and telling me their entire life story while I'm trying to get groceries, which happens a lot.
Now, you mentioned that your buddy followed you around because he thought you were stealing.
It was a she.
Oh, she.
Yeah, she.
Okay.
She's loss prevention at the local store.
Oh, okay.
And I had worked with her previously in law enforcement, as far as she would be like, this person's stealing from the store. I'd show up, take the statement, arrest the person, or write the citation and take off. She knew me pretty intimately at that point.
Okay. So I would say that maybe you've gone a little bit too far then, because you've gone from not drawing any attention and kind of being off-putting to the point where you're actually drawing attention to yourself.
And that's fair. That is very fair. But I'd rather have that attention brought to myself than, people say, I want to talk about this and this and this. I'd rather have somebody just follow me around and check and make sure I'm not putting anything in my pocket, because at least they're not talking to me.
Yeah, no. That is fair, and I've run into that before, where sometimes I will sit there and entertain that sort of conversation depending on the situation. For business, like if I'm doing a business transaction, I almost always entertain that conversation, because then it makes that person feel important.
Yes.
But I totally get what you're saying.
So
Going to the grocery store.
I will straight tell you a story.
Yeah.
One time, Corey and I, we were shopping, and I was shopping at the same store that I had been to multiple times as a law enforcement officer. One of the cashiers corners me, and starts talking to me about a call that they had earlier that day. Mind you, I had nothing to do. I was on my days off, and I had some beer. Corey and I had gone out to the brewery. I had some beer. I was under no obligation whatsoever to do anything, and I wasn't. I was going to the store and she is talking and telling me the inner workings of this particular case that happened earlier that day. That she believes this, and she believes that, and I was like, listen. I was like, here's the thing though. Like, I'm not currently working, and I'll be honest with you, I'm a couple of beers deep. Like, this has no. I said I'm not going to use any. I said, and she just continued to talk and so my wife ended up calling me on the phone because she knew, and she was like, hey, I need you to go over here and do whatever. I was like, oh, really, okay. Hey, listen, I have to go, and I ended up going straight out of the store and sitting in the truck while my wife did the rest of the groceries, because it was one of those things where I was like, she was so in my face and so adamant and fired up about this whole thing. I was like, I understand I'm a public servant, yes, but I've also had something to drink. So I mean, it's one of those things where
Well, you're also off duty.
Yes, right.
Like it's. I mean, you have a certain level of responsibility off duty as well, I'm sure.
Yes, but it's not talking about the inner workings of a case that happened earlier that day.
Right. Yeah. Well, you have a good wife.
Yes, I do.
To bail you out like
so. After that point, it was like, okay. I said, obviously what I'm doing is not working. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go even further away. Because, and so far I've only been recognized at a handful of places. And people walk, oh, hey, how's it going? And yeah, I'll entertain that. But I'm not going to have full-length, in-depth conversations about my work. That's like, that's like me talking to a banker who's not banking, who's not at work, and like, hey, I need to transfer some money.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of where that's gone with me.
Well, that's like with the tech stuff. There's always this trope of oh, it's Thanksgiving. Oh, I finally get to have a break and just spend time with family. And then you show up to the family dinner and everybody's like, hey, can you fix my laptop? Hey, my printer's not working.
Yes.
Yes. So.
And then everybody, on Thanksgiving has a story about how a cop did them wrong, and I'm just like, I just want to eat some turkey, man. Like I want to be left alone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we'll have to do a video on that kind of how I dress and the way that I do. In the winter I will wear boots. I will wear lace-up shoes, but in the summer it's Crocs. Like, I mean, I'm just very, very casual about the way that I dress.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't mean to offend you, but I don't wear Crocs because they're not real shoes.
Whatever, man. They're comfy. And people take one look at me and like, that guy's all dirty and nasty. I don't want to talk to him.
No. My wife loves her Crocs, and I will wear them to take the trash out.
Yes.
But
her Crocs or your Crocs?
Her Crocs. I don't have her Crocs. And I really appreciate, like, Crocs, the company, has a really cool story.
Yes.
Where they basically
the
take
fat
over
electrician
the world.
just did a.
I watched that.
Did you? Okay.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah. Or the fat files, as he calls them.
Yeah. But.
Yeah,
I can't, man. I don't want to like them.
Going back to the. So anyway, I was just telling this story a couple of nights ago. I was working, and this guy walks up to me, and he starts talking, and he goes, "Hey," he goes, and he starts talking. I said, "Hey, man, are you a cop?" He's like, "How did you know?" I said, "Well, man," I said, "I got to be honest with you. It was the Oakley glasses, it was the Punisher T-shirt, the 511 tactical pants, it was the boots, your tattoos, and your ring has a thin blue line on it. How, like, you're not blending in at all, man. Like everybody knows,
Yeah.
It's no secret.
Well, maybe not the the random civilian living in condition white is not going to realize.
Right.
But all the other law enforcement, all the other ex-military, all the criminals.
Yes. Right.
No.
Right. And that's why I prefer winter to summer, because I can wear long sleeves. So
Yeah. So, speaking of tattoos, I have tattoo rules for myself.
ooh, okay. Let's hear 'em.
And my tattoo rules are, and I've broken one of them, but just barely, and I've considered breaking it again, but haven't. But nothing below the wrists,
Okay.
and nothing above the collarbone. Those are my only 2 rules.
So that's my mom said, not where the judge can see them.
Yes.
And that's where it was like, okay, so if I wear long sleeves, you can't see any of it.
And that's my whole philosophy around tattoos is I want way more tattoos than I have, and I already have quite a few. But I want to be able to put on clothing that covers up all my tattoos, but
Yes.
also doesn't make it obvious that I'm covering up tattoos.
Yes.
Because, so if I had hand tattoos, which that is the one, I do have a small tattoo on my ring finger. That's the one time I broke it. But it's kind of
Right.
covered by my ring. So
I will never ever get tattoos on my hands or on my neck.
and my problem is I have some really cool ideas for hand tattoos, but it would be breaking my rules, and I don't want to, especially in the line of work that I'm in. I want to be able to walk into somebody's office and look
Yes.
like I don't have any tattoos on.
Right.
Or like the other day, my brother-in-law, I'd been married for years, and my brother-in-law, we went to water park, and I had my shirt off, and he's like, whoa, I did not realize you had so many tattoos, because I've got my entire ribs are tattooed.
Right.
And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, well, I don't normally take my shirt off around you. But, like I have a huge tattoo up here, I've got a huge tattoo right here, but it's covered up most of the time by a shirt.
Right. And like I said, I'm not upset at these tattoos. I just wish I would have put them in different places. Now that I am trying to. So I don't subscribe to the gray man theory. I think that's kind of like a misanthrope. You know what I mean? It's like let's just try and blend in. I guess by trying to blend in too much, you're gonna, like you just said, if you trying to blend in too much, you're actually making it so that you stick out.
Yeah, well, so I think it depends. I think there is a balance. I think there is something to the gray man theory. I just think most people do it wrong. So, like around here, wearing boots and cargo pants, and a ball cap,
Yes.
and a Punisher shirt, like, you're not going to look out of place around here.
No.
But if you're in Seattle, like, you're going to look way out of place. In
Right.
Seattle, you probably ought to wear
Birkenstocks and
maybe
Right.
maybe or
Right.
else some sort of more classy style
Yes,
of shoe,
right.
or classy style of boots. You're gonna wear some sort of probably straight-legged trousers and some sort of button-up shirt, or maybe a sweater or something.
Right. And again, this is all location specific. I
Right.
couldn't tell you that what would work for you. I just know what works for me.
Or
That's-
or if you want to put off a certain aura, like what you're saying, the way you're dressing is somewhat off-putting, so
Right.
people don't approach you. If you were in a situation where, or let's say you're on a job, a adversarial simulation.
Okay.
And you and I are on this adversarial simulation.
I
where-
would dress how the employees dress.
Exactly. Or you would show up and let's say we needed to get into the telecoms room. We could show up with polo shirts with Verizon logos on them.
Right.
So and okay. I think the statute of limitations is up on this, so I think I can tell the story. Yes, I think so. Back a long time ago, when I was more of a punk and didn't have a family and stuff, I took a lot more risks. There was this bank downtown in Walla Walla that was being renovated. And they were renovating it into apartments, but it used to be a bank. And me and a buddy, who I used to do some of this stuff with, we were like, I wonder what it looks like in there. And we were like, I wonder if if we get into the bank vault. I wonder what the inside of a bank vault looks like.
Right.
So, literally, we got construction safety vests, hard hats, dirtied them up a bit, had a toolbox. The only thing that was in the toolbox was a camera. And we literally, in the middle of the day, walked in. And we were the only people in the place, because for some reason they weren't working that day, or maybe the time we were there they weren't working. And this is my story. I like to lead it with, I was in 4 bank vaults in one day.
Nice. Heck yeah.
But they were all open, they were all empty because it was being renovated. But it was really cool because this place, you could see the progression of this place had been a bank for like 100 years. And so there was like a brand new bank vault that was big and fancy and stuff. And then there was a little bit smaller one, and we went down in the basement, and we found like the original bank vault.
Oh, neat.
And it was so cool.
Neat.
And we took a bunch of pictures and just kind of poked around. We found plans for what they were building.
Oh, that's cool.
Took pictures of that. We were like, oh, okay, so this is going to be apartments, and this is going to be a lobby and all that. And but literally, there were people walking up and down the street, and this is downtown, and we just walked right in. Nobody said anything. And there were a couple other times where we did basically the same thing. But we dressed in a way that made it look like we were supposed to be there. And we acted in a way that made it look like we were supposed to be there.
Right, and it's funny because there's a unwritten rule in the military that if you want to get out of doing work, and guys have gotten wise to this over the years, but you walk around with a clipboard and you look like you have something to do, and people will leave you alone. It actually happened to a buddy of mine. One time they got off the bus, he had a clipboard. For whatever reason, whatever he was doing, he had a clipboard, and some like colonel walks up to him and goes, "Oh, they put you in charge, okay?" And he starts asking him all these questions, and my buddy's like, "Sir, I am not in charge." He's like, "Oh, well, you had the clip." That's the military, military way, is to walk around with a clipboard and look busy.
Yeah. Well, and that works for construction sites too. Clean white hard hat, clean safety vest, clipboard, and a name badge.
Yes.
Everybody will think you're OSHA, and nobody will talk to you.
So
you can walk around and just look like you're inspecting things and whatever. Take pictures if you want.
Yes.
Nobody will say anything.
Even in small towns, you know what I mean? Like dressing, I could probably have no issues in the local grocery store if I dressed up like them.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
or again, like, I mean, honestly, with some of the stuff that I do, you just show up and you say like, I'm here to work on the computers. Where's your server room? And they go, oh yeah, it's back there, and they'll let you in. They'll unlock the door for you.
Yes.
More secure places won't, but
right.
But the grocery store would.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you're talking to somebody who isn't the manager, or maybe just the manager who's on duty and isn't the general manager.
Right. And that's something to be said, and for those those of you that are listening, it's something to keep in mind. It's how easy it is to fool other humans into kind of getting what you want.
Now you should not manipulate people.
No.
To get what you want. You should not be scamming people, that sort of thing. But just like your example of the way you dressed and the way you act avoids unwanted interactions.
Yes. Yeah. And because again, my history. I have I've done quite a bit of things in this community, and my name has been plastered on newspaper for good things, but my photo's been in the newspaper. I've been, and sometimes people will look at me and I'll see it flash across their eyes, but then they'll just it'll just disappear again, and so that's kind of what I'm going for.
Yeah.
But I will say the one cool thing that's happened was that I was at the local hardware store. And somebody chased me down at the hardware store. I was like, "Hey, you're with Minuteman Theory." Shout out, man. Shout out. He's like, you're with me? I was like, yeah, I am. He goes, I watch all your videos.
Oh, we're way out of focus for some reason. Keep talking.
Okay. He's like, yeah, you're with Minuteman Theory, and I watch all your videos, and my kids watch your videos. And hey, man, shout out. That was awesome. I was not expecting that when you chased me down in the local hardware store.
All right. Sorry for the out of focusness. Got a new camera recently. Still trying to figure everything out about it. I'm gonna
Miss the exposure.
Oh, that was the wrong way. Oh yeah. I got this little. It's got a little dip switch on the side. I can set the sensitivity on the dip switch.
He's been talking about this camera for. He's like a kid in a candy store. Super excited about the whole thing. I'm excited for you, buddy.
Oh man. I've been filming a lot of stuff for my business.
I've been watching those videos.
Oh,
you can definitely tell there's a difference.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can definitely tell there's a difference.
And it makes things so easy too.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. So as far as just out in public, people make mistakes all the time with how they dress.
Yes.
Bumper stickers.
We went over this with the everyday carrying, right? This was kind of something we got into the weeds with. I can look, and anybody can look at a vehicle and know that there is something in there, if you have that criminal mind, worth stealing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can, well,
Not even just... So, yeah, we're talking about guns in cars, and, there are certain stickers that maybe allude to that. But even things like those stick family stickers. It's like, okay, now I know how many members of your family there are. Or I know if you have a dog.
Right.
If you have a little dog mom sticker.
Yes, right.
Or, man, all sorts of stuff. If you've got coexist and...
the equal.
Yeah.
I always see the coexist and the equal.
And the equal and like a trans flag sticker and all stuff. I know that you're a progressive liberal. Or the opposite, if you've got, Trump 2024 and, them dang libtards or whatever, I know that you're like hardcore Republican.
Yes.
And you can be proud of your ideologies and what you believe in and stuff. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but advertising them to the world can sometimes put you in a dangerous position.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's go down the line at the local grocery store and just look, man. And it's like, it's so easy. I know more about you within just looking at your vehicle than you would, you know what I mean? We're just putting things together.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and a good example is I have a BMW that's all blacked out, like tinted windows, everything. Doesn't have any stickers on it.
Yes,
except for the one, it has one sticker on the back windshield that's like this big, and it says,
"Think it's not illegal yet."
Yeah, think it's not illegal yet. That's right.
Yes.
How do you know that? And I don't.
What can I say, man? Trained observer.
Yeah. Anyway, I was telling Ian about this interaction I had with a police officer in that car, where I was driving home late at night after seeing my girlfriend at the time. It was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I was on the highway, and I was maybe going a little bit over the speed limit, and I got pulled over. And I always, whenever I get pulled over, I always roll down the front windows, turn the dome light on, and put my hands on the steering wheel and wiggle my fingers. Just because I want to make the cop as comfortable as possible, because I just want to get it done and over with as quick as possible. But this is the first time this has ever happened. This cop comes up, and he's shining his flashlight in my back window, and he doesn't even come up to my window, and he yells, he says, "Do you have a gun in the car?" And I actually didn't that night, which was actually not normal for me, but because normally I was concealed carrying a gun, but that night I didn't have one, and I don't remember why.
Oh, I bet I know why.
Why?
I bet I know why he asked that. He probably ran your plates and ran you prior to making the stop, then made the stop and knew that you had a concealed weapons permit.
That, I didn't think about that.
That is, so
that definitely, because I had a concealed weapons permit.
Yes.
That definitely could have been it. Well, the other thing too, though, is when he finally came up to the window, he said, I see there's a holster on your back seat. And there was an empty holster.
Right.
And he said, do you have a gun in the car? He asked me like 3 or 4 times. And I even told him, I said, sir, like, normally I actually do carry a gun.
Right.
But tonight, I actually don't have one with me on my person or in the car.
Right.
And he finally calmed down. But it was kind of interesting because he was like looking in my back window and like asked me these questions I'd never been asked before. And Ian made a good point when I told him this story the first time, that my car looks like a drug runner.
It does. It looks like a drug running vehicle. It does.
I just thought it looked like a, cool car. But that's a very good point. And it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so looking at my my pickup truck.
Yes.
Well, if you didn't know me, what would you deduce about me looking at my pickup truck?
I would deduce that you're probably conservative, because that the again, I'm pigeonholing. This is not true for, but the majority of conservative people like older trucks.
Okay.
That is very much. I would say that you're also you're also a working person. That's something that working. And I would. But here's the other thing, that we live in rural Montana, right? Like, so a lot of people have that same vehicle.
Well, and I was gonna say, like,
it's
we live in rural Montana where even the liberals drive pickup trucks.
Yes. So, but that would be, just upon initial contact, that would be, I would say that you have ladders in your vehicle. I'd be like, okay, well he's a working guy. You know what I mean? Like, that's. And then when I look in the bed of your truck, I would see probably gas cans and equipment and stuff like that. And I mean, that's, that would kind of form the basis of how we do it. And it's funny because my traffic stops are kind of unlike any other. I'm not saying they're unlike anybody else's. My traffic stops are very different than a lot of other people. I'll literally walk up to the car and be like, hey, how's it going? And that always throws people off. Not, I'm like, hey, how's it going? And then I'll be like, hi, my name's Officer Ian Smith. I'm with Blah Police Department. The reason I stopped you is this. Do you have your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance? While they're looking for it, I will strike up a conversation. Mm-hmm. Has nothing to do with the traffic stop. I will literally strike up. And I'll try to make, and my thinking is that if you remember this traffic stop for this reason, you're not likely to do it again, right? It's not, I don't need to write a ticket. I just need you to understand that, you were speeding or you ran a stop sign. But I use stickers. In fact, there was one woman who had a license plate that said Puddle Jumper, too, on it. I said, oh, are you a pilot? She said, no, but I like Battlestar Galactica or whatever. I was like,
oh, it's probably Stargate.
Stargate, yeah. She's like, I like Stargate. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, But that's what I'm saying, and just looking at vehicles, I can kind of start putting things together. Now, I've been completely wrong, 100%. Mm-hmm. But most of the time, just looking at a vehicle, after making the stop, I can kind of, put a few things together to kind of realize who I'm dealing with.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you can tell a lot by how somebody lives their life too. Even like looking at their house.
Yes.
Do they have political signs in the yard? Do they have other signs in the yard? Do they have what kind of yard decorations do they have?
Right.
Even things like, is their yard overgrown? That doesn't necessarily tell you much about the person necessarily. But it could point you in the right direction where it's like, okay, their yard is overgrown because it's an 86-year-old lady that can't mow her own yard and is, her only income is Social Security.
Yes.
Or it could be that, oh, this person is really lazy and doesn't care about their yard.
Right.
Or so many different things. It can tell you what somebody is not. You can say that, well, this person is probably not a young... affluent,
right,
and very particular person.
Right.
Usually, that's not always true. It's a generality, of course.
But what you wear, mm-hmm. what you drive, what your house looks like, says a lot about you. It does, whether or not you want it to or not.
Yeah.
It tells me a lot about you.
Or even the stickers you put on your laptop.
Yes.
Or the lack of stickers you put on your laptop.
Yes, that's why all my water bottles don't have any stickers on them. I have one laptop that I use for work that has work stickers on it. But again, I'm not using it I'm not using it outside of work. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I put stickers on my laptop, but that's kind of it's a tech thing.
Right.
And now,
right,
if I was trying to fit in somewhere where that wasn't the culture, then I would probably just use another laptop. But,
right. Right.
Or even like your phone case, or the type
Yes.
of phone you have.
Yes. Yes.
Or, yeah, all sorts of things.
And that's why, like I said, I go out of my way to blend in with as much as I possibly can, because I don't want people to. I want to be just that person that drives by or walks by, and you're like, I don't even pop up later on. You know, like that's. You know, obviously when I'm in uniform, it's a whole different story. But like when I'm not working, you know, I want to look just as. That's why I have an older Toyota, because how many older Toyotas are there? How many older Fords are there in the local area?
A lot.
Hundreds.
A lot.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
You know.
Although, okay. So, for those of you who don't know, my work truck is an '80s Ford pickup truck, and it's in pretty good condition. It threw me for a loop. I've had several people now, like at the gas station, or even today, I was on a job, and the customer commented on my truck and said, "Man, that's a really nice, like really clean classic truck." And I was thinking, like, classic, what are you talking about? It's an '80s, like it's old, I guess. And I started thinking, it's like 40 years old.
Yep.
And that's...
I plan on keeping my current car until it's a classic.
Yeah.
You know, and even then, I still keep, you know.
Okay, but here's the thing is, apparently classic, a car is considered classic once it's 25 years or older. So your car is a classic.
No way.
Yeah.
That's wild.
My BMW is a classic.
Really?
I would
That's
never call
wild.
it a classic.
No, I wouldn't call my Toyota a classic either.
My wife's minivan is almost a classic.
Jeez.
The one that I have heads in North Idaho for.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. Or like the car my wife currently drives is a 2015, and I can't believe that thing is 10 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, to me, that's still like a brand new vehicle.
Right. No, and that's, you know, and that's okay. So, to be a good cop, you have to think like a criminal, right? There are times where you have to think like a criminal. Mm-hmm. And I've always said that if I decided to quit being a cop and lead a life of crime, mm-hmm. I would get a Ford Explorer, a nicer, you know what I mean? Not a very nice, but a Ford Explorer, because, mm-hmm. and it would be white. And it would be white because how many white Ford Explorers are there? There was 3 that just drove by.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have a car that fits in completely.
Well, I mean, that's like the vehicle my wife drives.
Yes, right.
There's a ton of them in town, same color.
Yes.
Similar year, where I'll be driving and I'll be like, oh, that's my, oh wait, oh no, that's not her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I do that to people all the time. Like, oh wait, no,
yeah. 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 No, and that is a good point. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize how much they advertise about themselves.
And you know what? All you have to do is think to yourself, what is this showing about me?
Yeah. Like,
the one sticker I have on my car is going to tell you a lot about me.
Well, okay, but even the truck you drive,
yes.
I would, if I just saw that in the Rosar's parking lot, I'd be like, oh, this person probably likes hiking.
Yes, and that's exactly. You're absolutely right. But
and then the sticker reinforces that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean that's it. You know, just be cognizant of what you're doing, what you're putting on your vehicle. You know, how you're portraying yourself, and that's pretty much it. You know,
yeah. And figure out what level you are okay with broadcasting that sort of thing.
Yes.
Because it's different for everybody.
Yes.
I don't like to broadcast hardly anything about myself, my personal life and that sort of thing. Whereas some other people, they might not care. I think that's a little risky, but to each their own.
Right.
You have to figure out, put yourself in the shoes of a criminal for a second, and examine yourself from the outside and think, okay, if I was a criminal and I wanted to break into my house or I wanted to scam me,
Yes, right.
what am I broadcasting about myself that a criminal could use to take advantage of me?
Yes.
You know, but yeah. And then, moving on to a life of crime, you want to go to the dark web?
Yeah, let's see the dark web.
Okay.
Let's see all this spooky, weird stuff that I've learned from every police officer class ever about the dark web.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So as I'm booting my laptop and stuff, tell me, what do they teach you in law enforcement about the dark web?
Okay, so unfortunately, what they've taught is that if you figure out that somebody's on the dark web, what they're doing is probably not a good thing. Like human trafficking, drugs, illegal, all this, illegal nonsense stuff, and that the dark web is where you can go to get literally anything you want. Like anything you can think of, you can order it on the dark web.
Yes and no.
Okay.
So, that is true to a point.
Now, when we had our human trafficking class, that was one of the things they talked about, was that the dark web is, the dark web is how people communicate and buy and trade and sell prostitution, that whole thing.
Yeah. And so there is a lot of that on the dark web. And I guess we should define some terms. So you'll hear deep web,
Okay.
and then you'll hear dark web and darknet.
Okay.
So dark web and darknet are like the same thing. Deep web is related but different. So you have the surface web, which
Yes.
is what you think of as Facebook, Google,
YouTube,
you go on the internet, you go to a website. Any sort of website you go to is the surface web.
Yes.
Is what we call it. The deep web is anything that isn't a purposefully public website.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that would be like everything from websites that are hosted on unlisted services like the Tor network.
Yes.
Which
okay.
is where you're going to find the deep or the dark web stuff.
Okay.
But there's legitimate sites there too. All the way to things like accessing an HVAC control panel over the internet is part of the deep web.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, or let's say you have an AWS S3 bucket that you're backing your. You probably shouldn't use an S3 bucket, but
That just went over my head.
Okay, well, a place on the internet in the cloud.
Okay.
That you back your computer up to.
Ah, okay. Yes. Yes.
That's part of the deep web because it's not a purposefully public.
Oh, okay. So what
website.
you're saying is that, like, okay, so it's not. What am I trying to say? Is that if it's not readily accessible by everybody, it's considered the deep web.
Well, if it's not intended to be.
Okay. So let's
Access
say.
So I'll show you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I'll show you some other things too. I'm going to show you what's called a Google Dork.
Okay.
And that's where we can access some quote-unquote deep web stuff that isn't necessarily supposed to be pointed out to the internet, but is, like, by accident.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Or maybe it's intentionally pointed out to the internet, but you have to log into it. Like I said, like an HVAC control system.
Yes, okay.
So, or like let's say you have a Wi-Fi connected thermostat in your house.
Yes.
That you can control from anywhere. That's
so my
the traffic that uses is considered deep web.
So then my security system.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm tracking with you. So it's not. It's stuff that people don't want everybody to have. Not everybody. They want. Sorry. It's things that shouldn't have public access. Things that are kind of more like it's intended for one person or another.
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically anything that is not an intentional public-facing website.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so then the dark web or the dark net are illicit websites or websites that are hosting illicit things or potentially illegal things
Right.
on some sort of other protocol. So all websites on the surface web use, or for the most part, use HTTP.
Yes.
Which is hypertext. Hypertext transfer protocol. Drawing a blank. I think that's right. Anyway, or HTTPS, which is just the encrypted version. If you're visiting a website that doesn't have the S, I would avoid putting any sort of sensitive information in it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because
that's good to know.
It's clear text. But things like Facebook,
Yes.
they all run on HTTPS, and most modern browsers will warn you if you're trying to visit a website that isn't
Okay.
using the encryption, the SSL and TLS
Yes.
encryption.
Okay.
But anyway, so in order to access the dark web or darknet, you have to use a different protocol. And so a lot of them will use the Tor network,
Okay.
which is you have to use either a special browser or you use a Tor proxy in a normal browser.
Yes. Okay.
And the all of your traffic is routed through a couple nodes, and each node doesn't know the information from the last one, so it keeps it all anonymous.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay.
And really the only way to know what traffic is going through on the Tor network, you would have to basically own the end node, which is possible, but it's random whether you're going to get what you're looking for or not. That's a whole deep thing. Anyway, but it anonymizes your web traffic so that it's hard to trace where you're coming from and where you're going. There are other dark web and deep web protocols like I2P, and there's a couple other ones that I'm blanking on right now, but Tor is the most commonly used one, and it is the one that has the most infrastructure.
Right. Okay.
And there are a lot of... So, the Tor network itself is not the dark web.
Okay.
Because there are legitimate websites on there, like Facebook has a dark web website. Or not dark web, sorry, a Tor
Really? Okay.
website.
Okay. Okay.
And there are things on there like the entire Bible. There's a couple websites that just host the Bible on the Tor network. And it's to allow like people in other countries where those things are illegal.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
So
That
like,
is very cool.
So if you're in a country that
Yes.
persecutes Christians,
Yes. Okay.
then you're still able to access the Bible.
That is a fantastic use of
Yeah.
that. I like that.
Or if you're in a country where they restrict access to Facebook, you can still access Facebook. And there's a lot of other websites that have... We should do it for Minuteman Theory. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
To just add an onion URL to our
Yes,
website.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
Go check out MinutemanTheory.com. Soon to be Minuteman Underground. MinutemanTheoryUnderground.com.
Well, I'll show you. Unfortunately, with our setup here, I'm not going to be able to show my screen to the people, and maybe we'll do an in-depth video on how to do this sort of thing.
Oh, you have nothing on your... Okay.
Nothing on my what?
Well, normally I have, icons on the side of the screen.
Oh, man. Oh. Icons on your desktop?
Yeah.
No, that drives me nuts.
Dude!
Okay.
That's the only way things get done.
The only time I'll have icons on my desktop is if I'm using an older version of Windows. So I use Linux on all of my computers. I use Arch, by the way. That's a tech joke. Ian's sitting over here going, "Oh yeah, Arch, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I use Linux on all my computers. That's also part of my personal Opsec.
Okay.
Is operating systems like Mac OS and Windows send a lot of data back to their respective companies, Apple and Microsoft.
Okay.
And they're also closed source operating systems.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which, and don't get me wrong, they're built really great. They run really well. Like, I'm not saying that they are bad products necessarily. They are just not very private for the privacy
levels that you have.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I run Linux. I also don't. Linux is also free, so
yes.
It's.
My dad had a friend who was pretty similar to you as far as like he would talk. Him and my I remember him and my dad would talk, and it's kind of like when you and I have a conversation about guns. My wife doesn't understand the first thing that we're saying. They would have conversations about computers, and I'd just be like, "What?" And so that's kind of, you know what I mean. It's computers have just never been my game. That's just not. I use them because I have to, and that's really as far as it. You know what I mean? As far as it goes for me.
Well, you ought to try Linux sometime.
Well, I need a laptop first. Speaking of which, we were going to talk about that.
Yeah, I've got one that I think would be perfect for you, but I need to bring it over so you can play with it. I'll let you use it for a while, and then you can decide. For you, it'd be $50.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can definitely part with $50. I just, like I said, computers. It's just it's a tool.
It's it's an enterprise class Dell, and I put a brand new solid state drive in it, and it runs really well. Nothing super special, but it's perfect for surfing the web, doing office work, that sort of thing.
Right.
It might do a little bit of video editing, but it might be kind of slow.
Can I play Counter-Strike on it?
Oh yeah, you'd be able to play Counter-Strike on it.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Maybe
that's what we ought to do.
Probably not on highest settings.
We ought to do a Minuteman Theory game night, and we ought to like live stream it or something. I think that'd be fun.
I still have copies, totally 100% legal copies that I did not get from a friend when I was like 12. Yes. I've got Counter-Strike 1.0. So before the official release of the first Counter-Strike, which was 1.6, I have the mod for Half-Life 1.
You have Half-Life?
I have Half-Life. I have Unreal Tournament 99. Oh, dude, that's such a good one.
I was a Half-Life and Halo type of guy, man.
I have Halo.
Yes.
I have Halo. I have Age of Empires 2.
Yeah, that was another one. I remember playing Age of Empires as a kid.
Oh, dude. So I just recently got my wife interested in that game.
Such a good game.
And I have a potentially, completely 100% legal version of the original one.
Yes.
And then I also have every single edition that's come out, because that's one of my favorite games of all time, on Steam, completely 100% legal.
Are you on Steam?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
Are you?
I used to be. I don't know if I am anymore. I'll have to check.
Okay.
Because that's where I downloaded. Wait, I guess I could go get on Steam and use. Because I don't know if you know this, but Xbox is now doing online gaming, so I can log into my Xbox from. Definitely not my work when I'm
mm-hmm.
And I could potentially, if I wanted to, play my Xbox from any computer that I so choose, and so that's what I've been doing. It's really cool.
That's pretty slick. So it's like streaming.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can do that with Steam too. I used to. So
that's where I played. That's where I got my teeth wet on Half-Life. And I'm a sucker for it now.
Dude, so I don't have a VR setup, and I don't really have any reason to get one because I don't have a ton of time to game anymore.
Fallout 5 is going to be VR.
But that's the thing is, if
Fallout
5 comes out and it's a VR game, or I have a good feeling that Half-Life 3 is going to come out and be a VR game, I'm gonna buy a VR headset.
Yeah, and that again, man. Yeah, so that's what I'll have to get back on Steam because if that laptop works, that's something that I would do because but you can log on to, and I definitely don't have a cheapo Xbox controller that I just plug into my computer and
Yeah,
when I'm on
yeah.
call, I can do whatever I want, okay? Like,
Yeah.
when I'm not actively doing my job, I just need to be there in case of an emergency.
Yeah, so Steam does the streaming thing too, and what I used to do
Okay.
is actually specifically for Age of Empires, they've fixed it now. The Steam has like almost complete 100% support for Linux now.
Oh,
Which
right
is
on. Okay.
like you can play games that were never intended to play on Linux now.
Okay.
So
Good to know.
like Age of Empires,
Yes.
I play on Linux.
Nice.
But it's like a Microsoft game. Anyway,
Yes, right.
but that used to not be the case. It used to be really tricky.
Yeah, I'll when we get the
Yeah.
laptop, that'll be cool because I'll be able to play like the old games that I used to play growing up.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh man. Oh.
Because I'm an Xbox person because it's the only way for me to play games. All the computers I've ever had were absolute garbage.
Well, I might be. We're getting off on a tangent, but I might be upgrading my desktop.
Future Brad, edit this part out.
I might be upgrading my desktop within the year,
Right.
and I'll give you a really good deal on my old hardware, which is still plenty good for playing games. I just
Is it the same computer that astronauts use to do their taxes?
no
That is a Simpsons reference, and I'm upset you didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
This is the same computer that the astronauts use to do their taxes. Oh my god, so you're saying this is the best computer, and it will always be the best computer, and it will never...
Have you seen the computer that they used to take man to the moon?
Yes, it has less computing power than a calculator.
Yeah, and it's all like, oh man, the way that it was constructed and stuff, it was all like wire wrapped.
Yes,
and
right.
Wire wrapped memory and stuff. Super fascinating. But yeah, we're getting too far off in the weeds. Okay, so anyway, 2, access the deep web.
The deep web.
You can either get like a Tor proxy and just proxy it through your normal browser, or the easier way is to just install the Tor browser.
Okay.
And I have it installed on here. And Tor, by the way, is TOR. It stands for the Onion Router.
Oh, so there's multiple layers.
Because there's multiple
Yeah,
layers,
okay,
because
okay.
it routes your traffic through multiple layers.
Yeah, okay.
That's why they call it that. And then, so you just open it up, you click connect.
So then let me ask you something. Let's say that you are in a country, North Korea,
Okay.
where you don't have access to. Well, okay, that's actually a really bad one.
So I doubt that you would be able to connect through Tor with
Okay.
North Korea, because they don't.
There's only 1,000 access points, right, for the internet in North Korea. Yeah,
and they're like all government owned.
okay.
So unless you were like a nation state hacker, but then you'd have access to everything anyway. So
okay.
But let's say you I don't know. Let's say that you are in a country that persecutes Christians and you want to access the Bible.
Okay.
For the most part, you could use Tor to do that.
Okay.
Or use or whatever.
Right.
Or like you'll.
That's some Book of Eli stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, really.
Dude, Book of Eli is such a good movie.
Oh God, yes.
Okay, so anyway, so now we are connected to the Tor network.
Okay.
And you can access just clear web websites from here too. So like we could go to DuckDuckGo, which, by the way, DuckDuckGo is a search engine like Google.
Yes.
But they claim to not collect your information and stuff
I've
like
heard
Google
that.
does. There have been some situations where that has been kind of in question.
Okay.
Or maybe it's specifically with their mobile app. I don't know. But overall, it's pretty good.
That's the other thing. What do you think about VPNs? What do you think about using like Nord and stuff like that, and so that you could use different VPNs? What's your thought on that?
Well, so a VPN, a commercial VPN like that, is only useful for a handful of things.
Okay.
So, they put it out there like, oh, you need this to run all of your network or all of your internet traffic through all the time to stay secure.
Yes.
That's not true.
Okay. Or if you want to watch videos that are well, not illegal, but not offered here.
So that is one situation where yes, it does make sense. So like I have a commercial VPN. I use Mono Defense. It's been sold a couple times. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's called Unlimited VPN or something. I paid for a lifetime membership. It was like $200 or $300 a few years ago, and I just have unlimited access to it.
Nice. Okay.
But most of the time, it's some sort of monthly $10, $20 a month. NordVPN is one.
$35 a month.
Yeah, and my friend uses one called Private Internet Access.
Okay.
And that one has been really fast and really reliable. And the difference between them and like NordVPN is they haven't had any data breaches.
Yes.
So that's the other thing is picking a commercial VPN is that's a kind of a deep topic, but you want to pick one. I would do some research, and I would pick one that hasn't had any data breaches. Never ever get a free VPN.
Yes,
because
you're the product.
Yes,
it's free. Yeah.
Yes, because they are definitely selling your data.
Right.
Because it costs money to run those sort of services.
Yes.
Kind of like NetZero back in the day. You didn't have to pay for the service. It was really cheap, but they would just blast you with ads.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But yeah, so a VPN is good for, like, if you wanted to watch region-locked shows on Netflix.
Yes, right.
VPN will help you do that.
Okay.
So, like, if you want to watch something that's only available in Germany, you can connect to a server in Germany, route all your traffic through that, and then boom. Oh, dude, that's such a good movie.
They're coming out with the second one.
They are.
It's already out. It's going to be in movie theaters only. And this time it deals with the communists, which is really something that I'm like, oh my god!
Is it the same guy?
Yes.
Okay.
It's everything's. They showed me a theater or a trailer for it, and I'm like, it's only available in theaters in these countries. I'm like, I need a VPN. I need a VPN.
Oh man. I might still have some. My deal has like 5. You can have 5 devices, and I think I'm using 2. So
whatever, man. I'm telling you, that's what I would use it for. Is
you can use mine if I have any slots available.
Finding seats, you too.
But anyway, so a VPN is a virtual private network. All it basically does is it tunnels your traffic and encrypts it. So
okay.
So it basically tunnels your traffic through the internet and connects you to another network. So, for example, I have a VPN at work to where I can turn on the VPN to connect to our server rack, our data center.
Yes.
And so, like right here, I could manage all of my data center stuff.
Okay. Yes.
From here through a VPN, even though it's not pointed to the internet. Well, except for the VPN server.
Right.
So, but with the commercial VPNs, they advertise you're basically connecting to a server in another location.
Yes.
To make it look like all your internet traffic is coming from that location instead of this location.
Yes.
So it's good for if you want to watch region-locked stuff. It's good for if you want to do not so legal stuff. But all it's doing is hiding your traffic from your ISP.
Oh, okay. So we have our own ISP here, right? Because we have our own Wi-Fi. This would be our ISP.
No. ISP is Internet Service Provider.
Oh, okay. So it would be X company. Right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So could be Ziply or Charter or Comcast or whoever.
Verizon. Yeah.
So like, let's say that you were into downloading pirated things, which you should not do because that's illegal. But let's say you were. If you used a VPN to connect to a server in
LimeWire.
Yeah. But like if you were to just go download that stuff right now, you might get a letter from Comcast.
I know somebody who that happened to.
Yeah.
I know somebody who that happened to.
And if you do it enough times and you get enough letters, you could literally go to court and get fined or maybe go to jail.
Really?
Yeah, because it's illegal. Because you're pirating copywritten content.
Okay.
But if you use a VPN to connect to a server in
Guadalajara.
Yeah, and you pirate stuff from that address.
Yes. Okay.
Then your ISP, all your ISP would see is a bunch of encrypted network traffic. They don't know what it is, so they wouldn't know that that's what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
So another good use for a VPN service like that is if you are constantly using public Wi-Fi to do sensitive things.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That can protect you from attack. So like, well, it wouldn't be legal. I was going to say we should go to a coffee shop sometime and I'll show you how easy it is to get people's information, but that's
You could do me.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do me.
Okay, there you go. We'll set up a test environment and I'll show you.
Yeah.
How I can scrape information and stuff. You can do ARP poisoning and get yourself a little man in the middle attack thing going.
Right.
And basically, like if you went to a coffee shop with free Wi-Fi, or like McDonald's with free Wi-Fi, or wherever with free Wi-Fi, with the right software and the right knowledge, you could sit there and basically route everybody's internet traffic through your computer.
No way. So you could see what
you could see everything that people are doing, and then forward it on to whatever. So if you wanted to go to Facebook, for example, I could sit here and I can see all of your internet traffic going to Facebook and then into my computer and then pass it off to Facebook. So you actually go to Facebook and stuff, but I all of a sudden have your login information.
No way.
Or all of a sudden have your credit card information.
Yeah.
So a VPN would just encrypt that traffic to where I couldn't see that.
Got it.
But if you are just using the internet normally in your home, there's no reason to buy a service like that.
Right.
So, anyway, that was a long-winded thing. Tor, using Tor is kind of sort of like a VPN because your traffic is going through different nodes, but it's not quite the same.
Right.
So, anyway. Let's see, I have some bookmarks on here. We'll go to Tor Taxi. So Tor Taxi is a directory of Onion websites.
Oh, okay.
So you'll notice that, the Onion router, all the website addresses are usually a bunch of a random string of characters, .onion. So you know how like Facebook would be Facebook.com?
Yeah.
This would be like, blah, 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 .onion.
Oh, okay.
So, like, look. So here's the BBC.
Okay.
BBC is a legitimate website. They have an Onion site. And you see it's BBC News, bunch of random characters, .onion.
Okay.
And you'll notice that it's not quite as fast as the clear web.
Okay.
Because it's routing the traffic to all these nodes.
Okay.
And some nodes are faster than others. But see, this is just the BBC's website.
Yes.
Why can't I scroll? Anyway, yeah. So this is the BBC's website, and it's a legitimate website. Yes. On the deep web.
Okay.
I
bet that's because they want their information to go out to places that, like you just said, that it's forbidden. So, like you said with the Bible, that's probably why. That would be freedom of press.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there's a lot of news outlets that have Onion sites.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For that reason.
Yes.
To try and disseminate information where it might be illegal.
Yes. Okay. And that is an absolutely noble reason to have one.
Yeah. And so there's legitimate reasons for this, and then there's also illicit ones. Or like, so here's a really popular forum. This is Dread. This is kind of like Reddit, but for the dark web.
Okay.
And you'll even see it set up like Reddit.
Right. Okay.
And I've been placed in a queue, and you have to wait.
Okay.
It's just to filter out bots.
Oh, okay.
And then, but this Reddit has things that you wouldn't normally find on Reddit.
Okay.
So, and there are, like you learned in law enforcement, there are like human trafficking websites. There are child porn websites.
Right.
There is stuff like that. We're not going to visit any of
No.
those.
No.
But like, here you go. So it looks like Reddit, right?
Right. Yeah.
But and there's some stuff on here that is not malicious or anything. Like,
Right.
Here's a post warning about some sort of Monero honeypot.
Okay.
Shipping taking a long time. Tracking from Germany. Opsec is about layers, not perfection. Oh, see here.
Wild.
Here's
Okay.
an article that somebody wrote about Opsec. No one is 100% secure. The goal is to build layers so one mistake doesn't burn your whole setup. Compartmentalize, keep different IDs, wallets, and comms separated.
Yes.
Don't reuse usernames, emails, or PGP keys across activities. Limit trust. Only share info with people who must know.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
See, and then there's a bunch of comments about what people do. Anyway, so
Yes.
there's a ton of different forums on here. There's forums about everything. So Dread is kind of like a Reddit.
Yes.
So it's got a bunch of different quote unquote subreddits and all that kind of stuff. But then there's more specific forums too. There's forums about computer hacking and forums about cryptocurrency and
Stuff that Reddit might actually have an issue with on the regular.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of these websites. So here's the other thing too is, okay, you sign up for, say you sign up for Reddit. They want your email address, they want your name, they want your date of birth, they want a username, a password, some other identifying information, and then they send you an email and you have to verify it and stuff.
Right.
Most of the forums on the deep web are like totally anonymous. You register a username and a password, that's it.
Okay.
It's not tied to an email address or anything. The problem is too then, if you forget your password,
You're done. It's over.
SOL.
Yeah, okay.
So
wild. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, I like that. That's actually really cool.
But you can even see like over here, let's go back to the homepage. I saw some see some of these ads are stuff you would never see on the clear web.
Yes, right.
Like Drug Hub.
Yes. Yes.
And what is this? That's a cryptocurrency exchange with boobs on it for some reason.
Right.
But yeah, so let's see. So yeah, well, I mean, we'll go to this one. Now, this is one of the ones that you probably learned, well, the type of sites that you learned about in London.
Like Silk Road.
You want to go to Silk Road?
Sure, why not?
Okay. We can go to Silk Road.
It's not going to show up with anything that we don't want to see, right? Like, you actually have to actively search for what you're trying to... It's not just going to...
So, I haven't been on the Silk Road in years. But from what I remember, they had a couple rules. And the rules were something like no weapons.
Right.
So, like, you can't sell firearms.
Right.
I think it was no prostitution and no child porn.
Right. Okay.
But then everything else was game.
Which
is mostly like credit card numbers, identities, drugs.
Right. Okay.
Well, this one's taking forever to load. And we can let's see. I think Silk Road. Yeah. Oh, you have to have an account. Let's see. I'm trying to. I don't remember. It's been years since I've been on here, and I've never bought anything off of Silk Road.
It's just
yeah. But anyway, let's see. Is there another marketplace I could show you that doesn't require a login? Anyway, there are some websites out there that you probably heard about in law enforcement that aren't legit. Like there was this one website on the dark web for a while, and I forget what it was called, but it was basically a hitman for hire.
Yes, I have heard of that. Yes.
Yeah, and it was basically there aren't any legitimate hitman for hire sites that I've ever heard of.
No,
they've all been scams.
That's not how that works.
Yeah,
that is not at all. And let me explain to you something. If you're paying less than $50,000 for a hitman, it's probably a Fed.
No, but here's the thing: is these scammers, they'd have a website that was like Hitman for Hire, right?
Yes.
People would go on there, and they would pay. They'd be like, okay, this hit is going to cost you $120,000, and I need $20,000 down.
Yes, and then it would
and then they would message back and forth, about like what. And there was this big case, I think in the UK, where there was a flaw in the website, and some of the good guys were able to like break in.
Yes.
And get all of the messages.
Yes.
And so they were able to be like, oh, this dude hired a hit on his wife.
Right.
Let's go arrest this dude. Stuff like that. But anyway, some of these scam sites, they make tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars claiming that they will do a hit on this person and then never follow through.
Right.
So,
but I mean, to be fair, if you get scammed trying to buy a hitman, I don't feel bad for you at all.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure. But yeah, I have never heard of. There are hacker for hire sites.
Really? Okay.
There are some scams, and then there are some legit ones. But I have never ever heard of a legitimate hitman for hire site. They've all been scams.
There wouldn't be, because that's not how that world works.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Let's see. I have some other lists saved. The Hidden Wiki. This was like my first dark web site that I ever went to back when I was a teenager. And there's actually... Oh, this is the other Hidden Wiki. Hold on. This one. Oh, that has some good links on it that I'll show you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This isn't the original Hidden Wiki either. Wait a sec. Hold on.
I gotta be able to connect.
All right.
Again.
Found it.
Nice.
This is the original Hidden Wiki, and you can see it's kind of like Wikipedia.
Yes, yeah.
But, and it's just got a bunch of different pages. I mean, these are some different websites and stuff that it links to as well, deep web websites. But even some articles and some of them are this is one of my favorites, The Matrix.
So basically, let me make sure.
Yeah.
The dark web is just for, like, let's say, hypothetically, for example, Facebook were being censored. Okay? That you could only put up. The only difference is that anybody can put anything on the dark web, and there's no, like, peer review or anything like that.
Yeah, well, yes, but dark web is specifically illegal or illicit sites. So you could say deep web.
Oh, okay,
is completely uncensored and unmoderated.
Yes, okay.
And so we could, I mean, if you wanted to, we could just run a web server from this laptop and connect it up to the Tor network and just host a website that says whatever. I like cookies.
Okay. And there's nothing. The other thing is that there would be no recourse, right? Because there would be no. So it's like
there are ways to find where things are hosted.
Okay.
But it's very difficult.
Okay.
You basically have to own the end nodes. And there are so many end nodes. It's anyway.
Okay.
But yeah.
So it's a free for all.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. It's kind of like the internet was back in the 90s.
Yes. Okay.
Except with modern technologies.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
So it's yeah. So, another great website is the Dark Web Pug's Ultimate Guide to the Dark Web.
Okay.
And this is great. It's got pictures of pugs.
Yes.
But it's basically just like a quick tutorial. It's like, let's browse some darknet sites.
Right.
You're going to need some links. And then here's onion links, the hidden wiki.
Right. Okay.
Now let's get pugs some weed.
Right.
Here's where you can buy drugs.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there are sites where you can, like,
oh, I'm sure,
buy guns and buy drugs.
Yeah.
And or here's like Bitcoin anonymity. There's a lot of Bitcoin mixers. So this is how people clean crypto.
Oh, okay.
So, like, let's say that I sold you an illicit drug and you paid Bitcoin.
Yes.
Bitcoin, and that's what you'll find is a lot of these darknet markets will use Bitcoin or Monero.
Yes, because it's not traceable.
That's not true.
Okay.
Because so Bitcoin, well, Monero, yes, is untraceable. Bitcoin is, because Bitcoin has a public ledger. However, your Bitcoin wallet address isn't necessarily tied to your name. However, if you there's some software out there where you can run and it makes it really easy, but if you do a little bit of snooping and detective work, like if in order to sell that Bitcoin for cash, you have to run it through an exchange. So let's say that I'm a drug dealer and you buy some drugs from me with Bitcoin and I sell drugs to a bunch of other people for Bitcoin. All of a sudden I have a bunch of Bitcoin. I can't go to the grocery store and buy groceries with Bitcoin.
Right.
So I have to buy US dollars with the Bitcoin. So I have to transfer it into an exchange.
Okay.
So so that first level where it's like, okay, we see a bunch of Bitcoin coming from these random addresses to this one address.
Yes, okay.
You can say, okay, that one address is selling drugs because it's listed on this drug site.
Yeah, okay.
And then, this address transferred all the Bitcoin into this other address, which is tied to this exchange account, which has Brad's name attached.
There is a digital footprint with Bitcoin.
There is.
Okay.
So you have to launder it like you do cash.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
But there are these things called mixers, which basically run it through a bunch of stuff, and it's like digital laundering. So instead of money laundering in real life, if I sold you drugs for US dollars cash, I can't just go. If I make $1 million selling drugs,
right.
I can't just go put it in a bank account.
No, exactly. Right.
Or I can't just go, buy a house with it, because people are going to be like, how'd you get all that cash?
Funny story about that. When I went to buy my first car, they were like, "How did you get all this money in cash?" Because it was a $15,000 car. I was younger. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm a drug dealer. And the woman was like, I'm kidding. I'm just got back from Iraq. It was like they were literally asking me really weird questions. I'm like, it's $15,000 in cash. Like,
it's something like if you withdraw over, I want to say it's like $1,000 or maybe it's $1,500 or something. If you withdraw over a certain amount, they are required by law to ask you those questions.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my wife used to work at a bank, and she had to ask those questions.
Okay.
And so, like, I did the same thing when I bought the plow truck.
Yeah.
It was $3,700, and so I went to the bank and I withdrew $3,700 in cash, and the cashier was like, "Oh yeah," and they can be kind of sneaky about it. They're like, "Oh yeah, you buying a fun toy?" It's like, "Nope, I'm buying a plow truck." You go, "Oh, okay." And then
I'm buying lots of drugs. All of the drugs, I'm buying all of them.
So here's the interesting thing about that is they are required by law to ask, but I don't know if you're required to answer.
Oh.
So you might be able, and I don't know, you might be able to just say like, well, frankly, it's none of your business. And they might just have to say, oh, okay, and give you the money anyway.
We need to try that.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe there's a certain limit where they are like, where they have to say like, I'm sorry, I can't give you that money.
Right.
Which is kind of weird because it's your money.
Yeah. Ooh. Let's talk about Cyprus here for a second. Jesus.
Cyprus?
Oh, you don't know about Cyprus?
No. Tell me.
Oh, okay. So, 2009, Cyprus was looking at total bankruptcy. The entire country was looking at total bankruptcy. So what they did was they seized everybody's accounts and they froze everybody's bank accounts and took money out of their accounts to pay for this bankruptcy that they were. So what they did, exactly. So the government seized private individuals' money that was in said bank and took it and then used. So I remember I walked into my bank and I said, "Hey, are you familiar with Cyprus?" Of course, the gal making $9 behind the counter was like, "No, I have no idea." I said, "Well, Their government just seized all of their bank accounts and stole money from its citizens. She's like, oh. I said, what? She's like, oh, that would never happen here because we're protected by the FDIC. I said,
only up to $250,000.
I said, but the FDIC is a government-run thing.
Oh, that too, yeah.
And she had that's something to just keep in mind. That governments here as of recently, I mean, as of 2009, are freezing bank accounts on citizens and taking money for their own,
Yeah.
Just something to keep in mind.
But that's, okay, so the FDIC thing, that's another reason why super wealthy people that have millions of dollars, do not keep it all in their bank account.
No.
They will keep it in
Silver.
Assets, like silver, or property,
Yes.
or government bonds.
Yes.
Because they're required to pay them back after they mature.
Yes.
But your bank is only insured up to $250,000.
Yes.
FDIC is only $250,000.
Yes.
And so if you have $1 million in there and something happens, or even if you go in and you want to pull all $1 million out, I don't even want to know what kind of paperwork you have to do.
Right.
And yeah, I'm sure that you'd be getting all sorts of calls from all sorts of different law enforcement agencies too.
I mean, maybe federally, but locally, we ain't got the time nor the inclination to deal with stuff like that.
I'm talking like FBI and Secret Service.
Right.
They'd be like, why did you pull out $1 million in cash?
Because it's my money. I can do with it what I want.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you're going to be watched, and because they're going to be like, what is he trying to do?
Right.
But anyway, so anyway, the
long story short.
Yeah. So you know how like money laundering happens in the real world, where
yes.
I have an illicit business, and then I have to take that money through people I employ to run it through my legitimate businesses in order to use that money without any sort of law enforcement suspicion.
Yes.
It's the same way with Bitcoin.
Okay.
Monero is supposed to be 100% anonymous and secure. It's supposed to be the privacy coin. But Bitcoin has a public ledger, and if you know what you're doing, which law enforcement does,
right,
they can trace who owns what wallet and who cashed out what.
Okay. The whole cryptocurrency. That is another podcast that we need to do, because I don't understand cryptocurrency, not even a little bit.
Okay, and
yes,
we'll have you buy your first cryptocurrency.
Yeah, let's do it, because like I said, I don't understand cryptocurrency at all.
Okay, it's awesome, and you will. It's pretty easy to understand. Well,
I understand the cryptocurrency that you gave me.
Uh-huh.
But even then, I don't understand how it has any value whatsoever. Like, I guess I don't understand the value aspect.
Well, the cryptocurrency I gave you has no value.
Right.
So, for context, for those who are listening, I created my own cryptocurrency called Rolf Coin, based on the character from Ed, Edd n Eddy, and it has, I think, actually, technically has some value, but it's like a fraction of a penny per Rolf Coin.
Right.
So you're whatever
million
million Rolf coins, I think, is worth like $10 maybe,
right,
or maybe $2.
But I don't understand how, like, that doesn't, like, the US currency is supposed to be backed by gold, supposed to be, so that's why we give our faith and trust into it. I don't understand how something on the internet that doesn't have any like physical.
Well, it's exactly like the U.S. dollar, because the U.S. dollar is no longer backed by
yes.
It's a fiat currency.
Yes.
It has value because we give it value, and because we place value on things, and there's a market for it.
Yes.
And there's a finite amount of dollars.
Right.
When you print more than that number
inflation,
goes up.
Yes. But okay, that's a topic, because I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
About
we'll do that. We'll do that on a different one.
Yeah.
We'll do that maybe on the next one. To super simplify it for the purposes of the rest of this, just think of it as digital cash.
Okay. Like PayPal.
No, like
No, okay.
cash.
Like, okay.
Because PayPal's attached to your name, it's attached to your email
Oh, okay.
address.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying? Okay,
it's literally like me handing you a $5 bill out of my wallet, but digitally.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that's why they call them cryptocurrency wallets,
Okay.
not like bank accounts or
Yes. Okay.
credit accounts or
Okay.
anything like
Okay.
that. So yeah, let's see. Here's a drugstore. Let's see. Yeah, there's one. There's cannabis in the USA.
Cannabis is legal in the state of Montana.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go cannabis from USA. And some of these are old. See?
Oh, sure enough.
So you don't have to have an account for this one. Yeah, you can go in there. You buy 20 grams of purple Kush.
No way.
For 140 British pounds. Or 0.00167 Bitcoin.
Okay.
Oh, they only have 2 options on here. They must be out of stock.
Well, come on now. If you're going to buy illicit drugs, you can only get what you can get.
Yeah. But stuff like... But this is specifically cannabis grown in the USA, where it's legal probably.
Yes.
Selling it to people in the UK, where it's illegal.
Yes. Okay. All right. I'm tracking.
Yeah.
So then, okay. Let me ask.
Yeah.
What would the recourse be if customs found it, seized it? Then what do you do? Do you ask for a refund? Is that a thing? Like I don't.
I think for the. I think it depends.
Okay.
So I've never bought drugs off.
No, and right.
So I don't know for sure, but from what I've read and what I've seen, the sellers are really good at what they do, and so they package it in a way that it gets past customs.
Okay.
So I know I was watching a thing where they were selling mushrooms.
Okay.
And they would like vacuum pack them and put them in this specific packaging to make it look like something else and stuff like that, to where like drug dogs couldn't smell it, and when it goes through the x-ray machine it looks like something else.
The reason I ask is because I bought some German caffeine chocolate off Veristukola. Are you familiar with Veristukola?
No.
It is Finland's biggest military surplus store.
Oh.
And they have an online website, and you can buy. And this was.
Can you buy like FNFALs and stuff?
Close. You can't actually buy firearms, but you can get all the gear associated with. That's actually where I got my German Flecktarn, my snow camo.
Oh, nice.
So, I bought some German. It was big during World War II, so they would give it to the pilots. It was chocolate, but it had a lot of big caffeine content.
Yeah.
And they would eat it. I tried buying some for Corey and I, because she's a big chocolate.
Yeah.
It went through customs twice, and both times the customs officer took it, or it never made it, because I paid for it twice and I never got it. I told them that, and they resent another couple of packages, never got it. So that's why customs is I don't have a lot of love for customs.
So I think it depends on the seller, of course, and what their offer and what their guarantee is. I would assume that some sellers would say, like, if it doesn't make through customs, you're screwed. And I would assume that others are like, well, if it doesn't make it through customs, like, that's on me. I'll repackage some more and send it out to you, or I'll refund you or whatever.
Right.
So I think if you package it correctly, and I'm sure that there's tricks to it, then it'll make it through customs. Okay, there is one thing, and this is legal now, so I can talk about it. I did, before it was legal, buy some Cuban cigars. I bought a box of Cuban cigars from a distributor in China, and it made it through customs.
Really?
Yes. And that was
how much were they?
Very reasonable. It was like $12 a stick.
Ooh. Okay.
So, but you had to buy a whole box at once.
Yes.
So
right.
It was like it was a box of 10, and so it was like $120 for the box, and then it was another like $40 for shipping.
I wonder if the Chinese have a big market on that. Because
so
tariffs would be gone. tariffs wouldn't be a thing. They could go directly to the person and send it directly to the person.
Yeah.
That would be something that I would be interested in.
Well, okay, so before you go down that road, let me tell you my story about this.
Okay.
So, it made it through no problem. My experience was great. The distributor was great. They made it through customs. It took a while to get here because it's coming all the way from China.
Right.
And I checked. They were legitimately Cuban cigars. Like, there's a lot of counterfeits out there and stuff.
Yes, right.
But, you can't buy Cubans for that cheap anymore.
No.
Because the Cuban government, especially since the U.S. lifted the embargo, which is still kind of weird because you still can't really get Cubans in the U.S., but it's technically legal.
We got them in Iraq all the time.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But so those cigars were really good and they were reasonably priced. But nowadays, those same cigars are like $380 for the same box.
Oh God!
And it's because the Cuban government raised their taxes on the export of those cigars. So,
dude, we could buy Temu NVGs for like $100, man.
But anyway, so it's actually the Cuban government. Why they're ridiculously expensive. And in my opinion, so if it was $380, so that's $38 a stick.
Jesus.
Plus another however much for shipping.
It's insane.
Because I went to that same... Because it was like last year or the year before, I was like, those cigars were really good. I'm going to go back to that distributor. I'm going to buy another box because those were nice.
Right.
And it was $380 from those people.
Oh, God.
So it and I did I was like, why are they like 3 times more expensive?
Right.
And I did some research. It's because the Cuban government is taxing the crap out of exports now because they are, the world's cigar whatever.
Yes. Okay. And
here's the other thing too, though, is so $38 a stick plus shipping. And honestly, like, I like Nicaraguan cigars better. I've had some from like Honduras and Dominican Republic that are pretty good too. But I tend to like the Nicaraguan cigars the best, and they're like $10 or less most of the time.
But what I'm saying is that if we could get like Chinese military gear for super cheap, I'd jump on that in a heartbeat.
But I think that you could do something like that. But in order to do it, I think what you'd have to do is you would have to find a distributor in China. You would have to fly out to China and like negotiate with them in person and check over the stock in person to make sure it is what it says it is. And then you would probably have to buy like $100,000 worth at once.
Oh, okay. So it wouldn't... It's not like Temu, where it's like, where you couldn't get, like, night vision for,
No. So it's like all the, like, military surplus warehouses and stuff here in the U.S. that buy old, like, Americana Pipe Dream apparel.
Yes.
So they sell a bunch of army surplus or military surplus stuff. I can almost guarantee you that they buy it like a crate or a pallet at a time.
Well, yeah, because that's the only way to get it. I looked it up. Right. Like I wanted some military surplus ammunition. Dude, the only way to buy it was in 55-gallon drums. That was like, what was it? It was 2,000 pounds, and it was $10,000. But we're talking like thousands of rounds.
Right.
It was cheap.
That's the thing. You spend $10,000 on this barrel of ammo, and it ends up being like 2 cents a round.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to get it to your place, which is expensive in shipping,
and you have to have the you have to have the money up front. To buy it.
Yes.
But that's how those businesses operate. Is they'll buy a pallet of jackets or shirts.
Yes.
And they'll get them for like $2 a piece, and they'll sell them for $12 a piece.
Yes.
And they'll make $10 each, but they have to spend $2,500 on a pallet of shirts.
Right. No, this has been cool. This is actually I like the fact that it's.
Oh, here we go. Psychedelics.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, as far as the guarantees go, if it makes through the customs or whatever, it's kind of I think it's seller dependent.
Right.
Some are probably better than others. Some of these are probably also scams.
Yes.
Where they say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna sell you the best weed ever," and they don't.
Right.
They sell you the cheap crap.
So you'd be better off just going to your local dispensary and buying it as opposed to if you can.
I was gonna say here in the U.S. Yes.
Yeah.
Or even in the states where it's illegal. If you lived in Idaho, you can cross any of the borders except for the southern one. I think it's illegal in Utah.
It's illegal in Utah.
Yeah. But you could go to Washington, Oregon, or Montana and buy it legally.
Yeah, you could, but then we start talking about RICO. Racketeering. So basically, if you transport drugs across state lines, there is a possibility, although very slim, that the feds get involved because you are...
Right.
Sure. And then you're looking at big boy numbers.
Okay, but the feds aren't going to go after...
No, you're right. They're not.
They're not going to go after Bob that
right.
lives in Coeur d'Alene and, went to Spokane.
Right.
Bought some weed while he was hanging out with some friends.
Right.
And had it in his pocket when he went back to Coeur d'Alene.
Right. No, you're right. But I mean, same with the dark web. You know what I mean? User beware.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and the dark web is... You can get in trouble really easy.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you can.
And there's also a lot of... There's a lot of stuff where you'll go to a dark web website where it's like, oh, I'm looking to buy this widget that's illegal. And you go to this website and you go, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy this widget. And you click buy. Yep. Excuse me. And you click buy and it downloads a virus to your computer. And all of a sudden, your computer's part of a botnet.
Right? No, and that's fair. And I'm sure that the federales also do stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 100% sure that you know what I mean. Like,
another dark web website that you have almost definitely heard of, WikiLeaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that was a dark web. I thought that was I didn't realize that was the dark web.
I think there might have been a clear web version too, but I'm pretty sure most of it was on the dark web.
Okay. But yeah, that what is it? Oil trap from Temu? I'm sure I am just 100% sure that there's an ATF agent sitting there behind the computer,
Yeah. Oh. It was probably like a year ago now, but I was like scrolling YouTube and I got an ad for one of those.
I've gotten many of them.
Nice try, Fed boy.
I get them all the time. This oil trap, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I know what you're doing. Not today, Fed boy, not today.
I've heard that most of those are garbage anyway.
I've heard the opposite.
Really?
I have heard that some of them, if you got them prior to everything kind of becoming a meme, that they were decent.
I've heard that like if you got the ones that were like $25 or whatever.
No,
a lot of them were cheap aluminum.
No. I'm talking like the first gens. If you paid more than $100 for a first gen. It was a really good solvent trap.
You know what's interesting is there was a US-based company that was selling solvent traps like made here in the USA, and they were like legit steel and titanium solvent traps.
Yes.
And they came with, you could also buy a little drilling jig so you could drill the hole properly.
Yes.
And their whole thing, like on their website, it was all legit, and it was like, this is a solvent trap, and these are just solvent trap parts.
That's what I'm saying.
And then they also gave you all the instructions to get the Form 1 to turn it into a suppressor. And they were like, here's how you do it. Here's how you go through all the paperwork. And then they basically said, like, do not buy the drill jig or drill anything until you complete all this paperwork and you get the tax stamp back.
Those are the ones that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that same company, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember looking at it and being like, oh, and they were like $400.
Yes.
And I was like, man, that's actually pretty reasonable. And then I went back like a year later or whatever, and I was looking, and they no longer did that. They were only selling suppressors.
Yes.
And you had to get, all the paperwork and stuff.
Yes.
And I wonder if the feds knocked on their door and they were like, you can't do this because you're selling suppressor parts.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like the first gen, if you paid more than Yeah. My understanding, not that I know anybody who's ever committed anything.
No, never.
But what I'm saying is that I've heard that they're halfway decent.
Yeah, maybe some of them. Honestly, like you could build one from parts from your hardware store. Well, we probably should stop talking about this.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, dark web, because that's so much better. But yeah, okay, so here's marketplaces where you can buy PayPal, eBay, and bank accounts.
Ooh.
And we won't click on
No, let's not do that.
Here's stolen electricity. I wonder what that's all about.
That's interesting.
Oh, it's a Bitcoin investment trust. Earn 5 to 9% per week. Mobile store best unlocked. So that's probably some sort of scam that they want you to buy into. Cell phones, so you can buy some cell phones with Bitcoin.
Ooh, yes.
Anonymously.
Hell yeah. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
They might be stolen though.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh no, hold on. These are drugs.
Oh,
that was mislabeled. Okay, anyway.
I too enjoy the occasional cell phone.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, there's a lot of legitimate stuff on here too.
And that's funny because tonight has kind of changed my whole perspective on it. Because you know what I mean? Like we've been taught that dark web bad, it's only for people who want to buy illicit things and stuff. But it's like, now that I'm...
So again, there's a difference. So dark web, yes.
Yes, okay, yes.
Deep web, no.
So deep web, it's... After you showed me the BBC, I was like, oh my God. Like, for guys who can't get actual news, like news is restricted, they can go and they can actually... I'm like, that is awesome. That is a very noble thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Buying drugs, not so much, but like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's cool that's what they're using. A lot of people are using that for, is to get correct information and uncensored, unfiltered information.
Yeah. So I guess, so like the BBC in a country that it's illegal to view the BBC, I guess that technically would be a dark web website in that country.
Right.
Because it technically is illicit material in that country.
Right, but yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway. But yeah, so that's basically, that's it.
It's not at all what I was expecting.
Yeah. And you do have to be careful.
Yes.
Browsing Tor websites. And there are Tor search engines that are hit and miss as far as reliability in my experience.
Right.
Because websites will pop up and disappear, and so they'll get scraped by the web crawler, and then it'll show up in the search engine, but then it'll be a broken link.
Right.
Stuff like that. The lists like Tor Taxi and stuff are much better.
The next thing you're going to have to teach is how to hack.
That is such a broad topic.
Well,
hack what?
I don't know. Something. Go talk to a Russian satellite.
That would be really fun. I don't have an SDR though. I need to get an SDR, a software-defined radio.
Oh, okay. I have one.
You do?
I do. I have it downstairs right now.
Is it like what is it? I want to see it. Oh no.
Oh, okay.
This is like a DMR.
Yes.
No. Software-defined radio is... so, like, that radio and, like, our Baofangs and stuff...
Yes.
They're designed to work in a specific frequency range.
Okay.
A software-defined radio is a radio that you plug into the computer, and it can basically transmit and receive on any frequency.
Oh, okay.
Depending on what software you run.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, those are cool.
Yes. Cost me some money.
Now I want to show you something
Okay.
that I mentioned earlier. I want to show you what a Google Dork is.
Yes.
Okay. So this is kind of, sort of, part of the deep web as well. We'll go to ExploitDB. There's a bunch of Google Dorks on there. So,
Didn't you tell me? You told me a story about this, where there were some guys who were just screwing around and ended up seeing some shit that they shouldn't, and they, like, completely just, like, nope.
I don't think I told you a story like that. I don't know if I know any stories like that.
Okay, because I distinctly remember hearing a story about how these guys were messing around with stuff like this and accidentally hacked into somebody's indoor camera.
Oh!
And they saw a gal who was, like, naked, and they were like, nope, and they backed off.
So, I've had that experience personally. Nobody was naked, but I ended up finding somebody's webcam just, like, in their apartment.
Okay.
And watched this guy, like, at his table eating cereal, and I was like, nope, I'm out of here.
Right. Yeah, so this, I got this off a good buddy of mine, and he was like, this thing's, like, amazing. I'm like, okay.
And they're expensive.
It was $350.
Problem with the internet. Oh, I disconnected from your Wi-Fi for some reason.
Maybe the feds are like, nope, you've had enough for tonight.
Maybe. Let me restart real quick. Or maybe it just didn't reset my connection properly when I exited Tor. Anyway, a Google Dork. A lot of people don't realize this, that so they use Google every day to search.
Yes.
But Google has special operators that you can add in the search to refine your search.
Yes.
So, like, for example, you could search...
peer-reviewed articles about nuclear bombs.
No, but I'm talking... So you could do that.
Right.
So you could search that. Or you can add operators like cite, usagovernment.gov with that search string, and it will only search that website for those things. Or,
really?
Yeah,
okay.
Or
okay.
you could search that search string and then file PDF, and it will only show you PDFs.
Okay.
With those
okay. I mean, that's actually pretty useful. I mean, it could be incredibly useful.
Oh, it's extremely useful, and there's
like peer-reviewed documents and stuff like that. Yeah. I wish I'd have known that when I was going to college.
Or finding things that are pointed to the internet that shouldn't be.
Right.
Like security cameras or routers or
thermostats.
Data center power distribution stuff.
Really? Holy shit.
And so, I mean, you can kind of, after doing this for a while, you can kind of figure out some of your own. But
yes,
a good
right.
website with a lot of Google Dorks that you can just test out is Exploit Database.
Okay.
And this has a bunch of exploit code for known vulnerabilities.
Okay.
As well as
excuse me,
things like Google Dorks.
So is that where you found out about the my home security system, or did you just happen to find that?
Oh no, I heard that from a security researcher. I'm trying to remember which one.
Okay.
But he was like, "Yep, you can just use radio," or like he bought. It was like a little key fob for like $6 that just transmitted noise on that specific frequency.
Corey, that's the other thing. I want to talk to you about actually getting hard cameras installed. I think Corey and I are serious now. After she saw that,
yeah,
she was like,
"That's why I only install wired cameras."
We are gonna,
for the most part,
edit all of that out.
Yeah. We just had a conversation that shouldn't be on the podcast.
Yeah, should not be on the podcast.
Okay, so Google Dorks.
Yes.
So you can see like, okay, so this one says site, and then it has a search string. This one has extension, so it's looking for this specific extension.
Okay.
This is in URL, so it's looking for this specific string in the URL. In text, there's all sorts of different things that you can use. Anyway, these Google Dorks will help you find things that you shouldn't necessarily be able to find. So there's different categories on this site. Let's see. Oh, files containing passwords. That's not good. Various online devices. This is usually a fun one. Let's look at this category. This is where you find like webcams and stuff. So this in URL.
We find our fearless leader's webcam. That'd be cool.
So if we go to this entry, and we'll open up another tab, and we'll go to Google.
Speaking of our fearless leader,
an article about Trump just showed up for those listening and watching. Oh, why did it? That was weird. Okay, anyway, if we copy this dork, we put it in Google. It only shows one thing up. But see, this is like an IP address, so this is definitely not necessarily supposed to be pointed to the internet.
Right.
There's no URL, like actual domain name associated with this. But I don't know what this is. This is some sort of data views, user provided pages. This is some sort of back end for something. Let's find something a little more interesting. Oh, here's one. Webcam. Now this one, I bet, is going to be a bunch of like webcams that they have in towns where you can like look downtown and stuff.
Right.
I bet that's what this one is, because of how.
There's a few here too.
Is there?
Yes.
That are publicly open.
Yeah.
I thought those are kind of cool.
We use them for judging snow conditions. So when we're working, we use them for. So there's one up highway. There's one up the highway between here and the big town.
Would you look at that Eureka webcam?
That's yeah.
Oh, but it's not connecting for some reason.
So there's one. There's another one.
Townsend.
Oh, sure enough! Look at that. Okay.
Yeah. See, so this is a weather one.
Yes.
It looks like this one isn't quite working. Oh, I have my thing on. Hold on. Maybe this is blocking it.
So yeah, that's what we use for judging snow conditions.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's not working. Lees McRae College. AVA Resort, Cancun.
Ooh.
Remember that one?
Yeah.
Let's go to Cancun. Yay. Oh.
Aww.
Okay, anyway. But you can kind of see...
Yeah.
Let's see. We got any other interesting ones? Brother Printers property pages.
There you go. Print off some funny stuff randomly.
Yeah, or just like mess with their settings.
Yeah.
Or why is it blocking that?
Maybe people have gotten wise.
Maybe. HP laserjet config. Pie hole. We can mess with somebody's pie hole maybe. But yeah, all sorts of different things. Let's see, what other categories do we have on here? Files containing juicy info.
Ooh.
Files containing passwords. Sensitive online shopping info.
Ooh.
Network or vulnerability data. Pages containing login portals.
That's dumb.
Yeah. Footholds. Files containing usernames. Sensitive directories. Web server detection. Vulnerable files. Vulnerable servers. Error messages.
Oh, error messages. That's my game right there.
It can be very useful. So, Ian, what is your takeaway from tonight? What do you want the viewers and listeners to take away?
Don't buy the propaganda. Learn for yourself. Like, don't obviously don't go buying illicit things or give your credit card information to anybody or fall victim to it. Learn for yourself, because all I have ever heard about the dark web and the deep web is that it's bad. Only bad people use it. But then I got to see BBC on the deep web, and it totally changed the entire perspective that I have for this, because I've been told one thing, and then I literally saw it with my own eyes, and it is not at all what I've been told. Yes, there's bad stuff there, but there's bad stuff everywhere. So, don't take what you're being told for gospel. And like we talked about earlier, think about the message that you're sending to other people. Think about the message that you want to portray, and what you want to wear, how you want to wear. Everything you do has consequences, and so learn, be a better person, and like I said, man, do not just take what somebody says as gospel, even if it's supposed to be gospel. It wasn't. So that's it.
Yeah, and I would say, like, figure out your risk tolerance, and then design your personal OPSEC around that. Put yourself in the shoes of criminal that would target you, and think about, if you were a criminal, how would you target somebody? How would you target yourself? And adjust the things that you think need adjustment, and be okay with the things that you decide not to adjust.
And my final thought, train like your life depends on it, because it does.
Yeah, and train like you fight.
Yes, because it genuinely matters.
Yep.
All right, guys. We will see you in the next one.
And don't buy drugs on the dark web.
Don't do that. That's bad. But go look at the BBC on the dark web.
Yeah. Or the Bible.
Or the Bible, yes.
Or any other news outlet. Or
yes.
Yeah, the good stuff.